everybody go around the room, you know, what your thoughts are, good or bad, doesn't matter. What your thoughts are, you know, has it changed your perspective, any questions you have, and just one by one we'll do that. That'll take a few minutes and then we'll...
Hello.
Okay.
I find it very interesting. I'm really, really enjoying it. I feel like if you are really into becoming a PI, that you would find this all very, like, very interesting and very useful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Cool. Plans for yourself? We talked earlier, but do you think you're going to try and move forward and develop as an investigator?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Oh, great to hear. Yeah. Perfect. Jeff?
Super course. You guys did a really good job.
Yeah.
Really, you're an articulate speaker. You know,
Thanks.
Clear to easy to understand. Video. One thing I love seeing is the actual rolling videos of what you're trying to demonstrate.
Yeah.
The rolling mobile and putting maybe some videos on how you look when you foot.
Yeah, we got that coming. Yeah.
A whole other big, whole other big section coming
Oh,
up.
there you go. Yeah. It's all good. That's really good. It's almost like a similar course that I took.
Good.
Got into our stuff, and then we went out on the road, and they filmed us running around, and making all the mistakes.
Make all the mistakes, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, good stuff.
Really tough.
Pat, what about you?
I've really enjoyed it. I like the, the thought of the surveillance being the basis of the whole, PI industry. Now it starts to make a lot of sense. It's funny because I look back on the late 80s, early 90s when I was heavily involved with a company with like the repos and whatnot, and some of the things that I did, it was like complete opposite to what we learned right now. And I learned a bunch of techniques, but I'm impressed. Yeah, it's good. I like the technique. Yeah. I think the only thing I have noticed though is I think the industry as a whole, has an image, and I think like I see you trying to bring the image up, and I think that's what the image of the industry needs. It needs people to bring the image up. I think that's what you're trying to do, and that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the industry is professional. It's largely professional. I think that where I would find myself trying to fill in gaps with some of the training is there's been an absence of the certain type of training that Peter and I are trying to do. And not worldwide, but as it respects to the need within the industry, I think there's an absence. And so filling that gap, I think, is servicing people who want to get into it, giving them the right information, giving you the best thing. And I think that is a step in the right direction. This is why the training for me is so important and passionate about it. Why? Because if you do decide to make surveillance your career, or even the non-surveillance, the first few files that you have are critical. And no one will ever tell you this. Why? Hey, guess what? I'm going to give you your first few files, and if you fail, good luck, right? Who wants to talk to anybody like that? But unconsciously or consciously, they're thinking it. Why? Because how long could I risk the brand and the relationships of a business that I've spent years building by putting new people out there to make mistakes on some, like if I told a client, hey, I'm putting Sarah out there, she's brand new, she has no experience, but she's got training.
But I'm going to charge you full rate.
Even regardless of price, people will say no. When you're capable and people know it and it resonates, it's easy to get work.
Yeah, like
there's a lineup of firms that are well-minded, caring professionals that can recognize in a heartbeat that you have skills that they haven't seen and you can produce results. When you go into interviews, if some of you decide to pursue this as a career, especially on the surveillance side, and you can talk about all that we're talking about, it will seem like you have worked in the industry for some time. And that is valuable. Why? Because it's reducing or eliminating the risk to them investing in you. Not only that, is you spent this time doing the research and educating yourself, and the reality will be is that you know what you're getting into, you know what it takes, you know how difficult it is, and you're not a liability from at some point in time, 8 months down the road, waking up and going, I hate this job, right? Yeah. So, that's a huge liability. Why? It is for me, because I've made the mistake of hiring people who I wanted more for them than they wanted for themselves, right? And my perspective was broad, theirs was fairly narrow. They had a perception of what it was to do the job that I haven't even asked what it was. So, it's on us and me in those circumstances to say, what are we doing better in the process of onboarding and hiring new people so that they have the right information. So the 100 course is trying to address that and say, do you have all the right information to make this decision? Do you want to invest in education for yourself, blah, blah, blah. And, trying to do that. There are other forms out there, not just us, but that's the genesis, I think, of what we're trying to achieve, so. Okay. Ray?
I am
Or Sarah, sorry.
really enjoying it, completely. It definitely fills the whole gap, like, I've learned a ton.
Great.
Things that I wouldn't even have thought of as far as surveillance.
As long as it helps, that's the goal,
Yeah.
right? That's the hope that things are starting well and put you in the right position to better for yourself and to have a career and feel proud about it and confident, right?
I like
think
this
confidence.
aspect too, like being able to ask questions in real time, being able to hear others.
Sure, yeah, there's a huge benefit to the live sessions,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Right, how are you?
I enjoy the course. It's giving me a lot more practical knowledge, not how courts work, and I took 4, 5, 6 classes to get that court knowledge in college.
Yeah, a
And
long
they're-
time, yeah.
Yeah, and they're trying to cram it into a $300 study it yourself,
Yeah.
and then here's a multiple choice test. It wasn't balanced.
Disproportionate.
Yeah, it's very disproportionate, and I still came out of the course, like, what camera do I use? What binoculars do
Yeah,
I need? Do
the
I
practical.
need binoculars? Like,
Yeah,
with no knowledge
yeah,
of it.
yeah,
And this, like she is saying, at least a part of the course, or
yeah.
within the PI course, we had to learn the appellate courts,
The
the
appellate courts,
provincial
yeah.
court,
No.
the superior court, like,
You don't need
We're
any
never
of
gonna
that.
go there.
exactly, like, I'm working in, as long as I do what you as my boss,
Yeah.
guide me to do, and within purview of evidence and legality, I don't know or care what court it's going to or who's doing what with the information, as long as I have
And
it
this
over.
this is pretty much the same in most of the Western world. So what we're facing in BC is all throughout the states that have licensing requirements.
Similar, yeah.
Similar.
Yeah. It's regulatory.
Yeah.
I label it as a regulatory course because it really was created to fit the needs of legislative requirements, right? If you're gonna license PIs as the Attorney General, right, and say, I give you a PI license, right? What's the standard? The industry is interesting in terms of its personalities and perceptions, and so, but I'm quite confident that no matter who they are, no matter what their background or biases or, pro or favor, if they're seriously looking to hire you and they want to know more about the training, happy to talk to them. And, I think it'll go well. More importantly, how it impacts you moving forward in terms of your pursuit of things and your confidence in creating opportunities for you to demonstrate, the training and put it into practice. And that's the goal here. So, certainly stay in touch as to, how that's going. We can, we went around the room yesterday, so we're not, I think unless your impression of the course has changed from yesterday to today, I'd say that's good. We don't need to seek daily praise from you, but it was nice to your feedback. But anything else that we can do, even in retrospect, when you've digested all this information that you think that would be beneficial for you have learned, then give us that feedback. Yeah, and so I don't know what's next for everybody. And maybe we'll finish with, what's next. Any questions you have about the content? Any questions about the industry? We will give everybody. Pat, you've taken the 100. Jeff, you have. No, so we'll get you 100. And you've done it? Going through it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started it.
You started it,
We're
yeah.
not done, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, what's nice about the 100 that normally everybody's taken the 100 before is it's more file types, file assignments, where do you get your work, hours of work, investment in equipment and the cost of it. So I would, we'll get you access if you don't have it, Ray, that's really you. And Sarah probably, so that you have that information, right? I think mostly everybody's here because they're already down that road of wanting to do something. So let's wrap it up by maybe saying what next? Any thoughts on the course? Fine. And then, yeah, what next? Any thoughts and any questions that we could answer before you go?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
What's next? I'm definitely planning on trying to figure out how to get into a place.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get a job.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult, I know. Nothing. I really appreciated this whole thing that you guys did, and you did a really good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Well, we can help with a little bit probably with the job stuff, and maybe carve out some time at some point, bring a list. We can give you some feedback on what I think, just looking from the outside into some of those firms. Like I was telling you earlier, Seattle, Bellingham's not going to be a lot in Bellingham, just the amount of work, but there's probably a ton in Seattle. And, listen, if they're willing to pay and cover some travel and whatnot for what we do, which is usually the case, and you have to travel, to Edmonds or, that area to work, you're getting paid to drive as part of it. So, maybe that's something that's interesting, right? So, a bigger area for a bit more opportunities. Yeah. Jeff?
No change on the opinion of the course. It's good.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a JIBC workshawIt's,
Yeah.
It's
Oh, good.
Good quality. Yeah, so just working on whatever opportunities arise and getting licensed up and
Away we go.
looking forward, yeah.
Nice. Pat?
Yeah, I think I really like the course. I learned so much that I thought I, knew. I mean, it gives you that different perspective, and having a different perspective and hearing, Jeff and everyone else's perspective makes me realize that, yeah, there's another world out there that's happening. So this has definitely opened my eyes. So it's keeping my future opportunities open. What I would say about your course that I would recommend, just for me, because I work and I'm busy and I like to get more knowledge, is maybe, I don't know, in the future maybe try breaking it up like a Monday and Tuesday for these segments, and then a Tuesday and Wednesday the following week. That way, if people do need to take time off, they can do multiple days or
That's good feedback.
and
Yeah.
you might get a lot more people
Traction,
interested.
yeah. Well, 6 days I think is a big chunk of time for a lot of people. So the fact that we didn't harp on the redundancies, and that saved us easily a day. And I could tell from at least this group that it was like, I don't, I got that, I'm good. So let's move on, right? So we were able to save a day, and maybe with it being a 3-day, that's sort of atypical for a lot of these style of courses. But again, doing it on your own, the cadence is 90 hours is the average for the content online, right? So it's hard to gauge when we're adding as much content, how long it's going to be. So, I'm happy that we finished early. Certainly those that, hopefully it wasn't a big disturbance in terms of, the timing, right?
And there is still a lot of content you can go.
There's a lot of stuff online too that you can go through.
on the
And again, I encourage everybody to do that. Go through the material online, listen to it, and then the additional change will be is taking out the video, chopping it up, and adding a different dimension to the online course, which I think a lot of people will take much more time than 90 hours to go through. But that slower process. You're right. Things sink in better. They solidify better than this fire hose of information. And then but I'm also confident through the live experiences that you go home over the next week and it sinks into things. It starts opening your mind up, and it'll stick. But the industry has needs for PIs, and I think the advice I'd give to everybody who's looking to break in is, you have training, you have knowledge, you're looking for opportunity. And so take whatever you can get, do some homework on who's who, right? You can always call me, I'll give you my, as best I can, unbiased opinion of whatever. And then decide what you want to do. And sometimes, like a lot of things in life, you got to get your foot in the door to be able to be given the opportunities that you actually want versus given the opportunities you want right away. So this industry is a little bit like that. The goal here is to bridge the gap and reduce the risk for people to say, okay, I'm gonna take a look, I'm gonna, mentor you, and then be really pleasantly surprised that the training you have really has the value that we believe it does. And then, you know what happens? The door of opportunity is kicked wide open and cream rises to the top. So if all of a sudden, you realize, hey, 3 months in, you're getting a ton of opportunity that you notice some of your, fellow employees aren't, it's because you're doing something right, And hopefully that's the case for you. That would be, if you called me and told me that was the difference, it would be super happy that that was the case, and that what we set out to do, is working in the lives of people who are taking the material, so. Jasmine?
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this can take me. So
Okay.
I'm gonna utilize the program and add it to my resume.
Cool.
Yeah.
See where it goes, yeah?
See where it goes.
Yeah.
See what doors it opens.
Excellent.
I'll definitely, if I do get into the type of investigating, I'll definitely mention the program. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a license, so I don't even know if I'm gonna go down that road, so.
The 100, if you do the 100, you get all the sense of what a PI does. If you find a niche out there for yourself that some of this material benefits you, great. Just all the answers are right there.
Yeah, as I said, any topic on crime investigation, if you Google it, we're somewhere on page 1 on Google. Our website is investigativelearning.com.
So it's all there, a lot of articles, all the things that would be questions in your mind that maybe we haven't answered in the 100. But in the 100, the first exercise is, how do I get my license? So you go right into it, right? The very first exercise, so.
It's scary.
I know you did. But again, that's by design. So yeah, again, a little out of sequence, right? But yeah, that's the first exercise, and it really says go to the blog and how to become a PI. So yeah, well, it's too bad that the 2 missing people today will have missed out on so much, but you snooze, you lose.
Well, it was nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, vice versa.
Enjoyed
as well.
the conversations and discussions. I wish everybody all the best.